everyone, Sydney Sozio here on 6 with Soz, bringing you the top 6 things people are talking about. Up first is Mustang football last Thursday. The game was moved to Thursday due to inclement weather, but the Mustangs still showed up to shut out Athens Drive at Athens with a final score of 50-0. Up next, the popular TV show The View has been getting some pretty heated comments after one of their hosts, Michelle Collins, mocked Miss Colorado during the talent portion of her performance. Instead of showing off some flashy dance moves or another talent we've all seen before, Kelly Johnson decided to give a speech on nursing in scrubs and sneakers, talking about the impact it makes on people's lives.
Patients are people with family and friends, and I don't want to be a nurse that ever pretends, because you're not a room number and a diagnosis when you're in the hospital. You're a person, very first. And Joe reminded me that day that I'm a lifesaver. I'm never going to be just a nurse.
This act touched the hearts of many across the country, but obviously not Collins. While Johnson has climbed to national popularity, Collins has done just the opposite and has actually resigned from The View. Maybe it would be in her best interest to lay low for a while in case she ever needs medical attention again. Snapchat has been gaining popularity even more after the addition of the new Snapchat face recognition filters, but the old school GEO-filters are getting some updates as well. Recently, a few students here at Middle Creek have gotten their Snapchat filters chosen and can now be used in Holly Springs, Garner, and downtown Apex.
So the design, it was pretty much this thing that a couple friends of us at work were talking about. They're like, how come Cary and Apex have designs, but Holly Springs doesn't? So they're like, I know you make designs, you should go make one. So I went online and I looked up Snapchat GEO-filters and how to make one, and they have all the requirements, and so I just, spent an extra half an hour of my day after work one day and just made one real fast and submitted it. And surprisingly, they accepted it and got chosen.
So tell me a little bit about your inspiration for designing your Snapchat filter.
So my hometown is downtown Apex. It's like my favorite place in the world. It's just, I've spent like most of my life there and just giving back to the community a little bit in any way I can.
Well, I was inspired by BURKART and Andy Lewis because Mr. Mono was telling us about that yesterday. So yeah, and then last night I made one.
What other things do you design here at Middle Creek?
Well, right now I'm working on another filter for Middle Creek because I think it'd be really cool if everyone at my school could just enjoy having a GEO-filter that we don't have yet.
On a national news level, the Pope is here. He landed Wednesday and was greeted by President Obama, where he was then invited to the White House. He traveled to New York City and Philadelphia and was greeted by thousands of people anxiously waiting to get a glimpse of him as he held church services and even blessed a few babies. He ended his first trip to the U.S. Sunday night when he flew back to Rome. For anyone who follows popular TV shows, TGIT will be replacing TGIF. New seasons of popular TV shows like Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and Scream Queens started last Thursday. The hype for Scream Queens seemed short-lived, as potential fans awaited an American Horror Story-esque show to premiere, only to be disappointed by a weak casting choice and a lame storyline. On a different note, fans have been pumped for the return of Grey's Anatomy in particular after some pretty big things happened at the end of last season. No spoilers here, but be sure to check out these new shows every Thursday on ABC. Last for today's show is an interview with one of Middle Creek's math teachers, Miss Rice. Hey, Miss Rice, so tell me just a little bit about the classes that you teach here at Middle Creek.
So I teach Math 3, and that's basically advanced algebra, and I've been teaching that for about 6 years. And I teach honors pre-calc, and I've been teaching that for 2 years.
And what's your favorite thing about teaching those classes?
I love math, obviously, and so I like that in the classes I'm teaching now specifically that they're more complicated topics, and so they're more interesting to me to go through at least and to teach repeatedly over and over.
So tell me a little bit about your college experience.
So I'm from the West Coast, so I went to Concordia University, which is a private college in Portland, Oregon. It's known for teaching, so that's where I did my undergrad. And I started graduate school there, and I'm finishing it at NC State.
What were the biggest differences between Concordia and NC State for you?
One was tiny, one's huge, so that's different. I did track as an undergrad, and so that was fun because I didn't live on campus. I was a commuter, so I didn't make friends that way, but I did make friends by being on a sports team. I enjoyed that. And then NC State's enormous. So.
And how do you feel when people say, oh, you won't use math after school?
Okay, there's this idea there that, that math is not applicable to real life. There's there's that meme that goes around and for adults, and they're like, another day has passed or I haven't used math. And to those people I say, it's because you don't know how to do math that you don't use it. Because if you knew how to do it, you would use it in real life. And mostly, I think our subject, unless you're a mathematician, you're probably not going to use math all the time. But when you get to those upper levels, you have to think critically, like you have to be able to sort through information and use it in another circumstance and problem solve and troubleshoot. And that is something that regardless of the job you do, you're probably going to have to do. So even if you don't use the math itself, the way that your brain is sorting through the information is applicable to real life. Oh, Chipotle, for sure. Belle. She reads. I like to read, so. I don't really have a favorite. Maybe Batman. Jim and Pam.
I like that.
Are they a power couple? Beyonce, single ladies, I mean. I don't,
No, not at all.
let's have better literature. Like Donkey Kong. Do you guys still know what that is? Is that still a thing? Donkey Kong, okay.
Yeah, he's in Super Smash Bros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, but like the older version.
True. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. The
yeah.
original.
I was really good at the one where it's like the rickety, I always called it a roller coaster, but it's not. But like the train, and you had to like jump over. I was really good at that.
Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip. Kill it. Now watch me nay nay. Okay. Now watch me whip.
Want to be featured on an upcoming episode? Have a teacher you want to see whip? Comment below and let me know what you want to see. Thanks for tuning in this Tuesday on 6 with Soes. Hope to see you next week.